right. Good? I know.
All right, somebody say something.
You, peace, 1, 2.
Oh,
All right, yes. Hey, we're live right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we just got to remember when we go live at 8 that I put these in program. All right.
Dude behind the boards, DJ Envy out here.
Yeah, man. Morning, everybody. It's DJ. Charlemagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club.
Yo, you ever
He's
notice?
probably my least favorite.
Who, Envy?
Yeah.
That's because he light skinned, man.
But yo, that's such a great cast because they're so like monumental in hip hop.
Oh, they're
All
perfect.
three of them.
They're
Like,
perfect. They're perfect.
Like all three of them. Like people don't know how monumental Angela Yee is in hip hop.
Yeah.
Huh?
People don't understand.
Yo, you can still speak it to the mic because we're technically on, and they're hearing us and all that. We didn't go live on the radio yet. Yeah, man. So what were we saying, man? Oh, so yeah, as far as like, what's her name? Gaia Monroe?
Gaia Monroe, like yo.
I do want to find her, yo.
Yo, honestly, just look at her stuff.
I just looked at her stuff, and I'm looking at all the videos, and I'm like, yo, I really feel like it's Erykah Badu meets
and it's that vibe.
meets Pornhub.
Yeah.
Yo, she's not even like thick like that either. Like she is, but she's not like Cherokee Diaz.
I think
I don't
she's
need
so
Cherokee.
she's so much,
do.
she's so beautiful, right? And I think it's the energy that she put. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just like okay, she's dope.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
She looks like a round the way chick that's pretty fly.
Yeah.
But her energy and the way she approaches her, you know what I mean, profession is totally different from how, you know what I mean.
But what would be the why you say you couldn't rock with, like, what would be the problem? Because I think it's, I feel like that brings it doesn't make it porn no more when a sister does it like that. When she's in the realm that she's in, it's almost like Kama Sutra. Remember, like Kama Sutra.
I stole that book twice. My mom stole it from me.
You remember the other book? You remember the other book that was yo, what was it? It was like it wasn't real people. It was like sketches of white people in different positions.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found that book, man.
I found Kama Sutra. I don't know how that happened, but I definitely stole it from Borders.
From Borders?
Twice.
Dang, bro, you was serious.
Yo.
I found it in like my mother's drawer,
See, the thing,
which was disgusting. I didn't even want to touch it.
No, the thing about it is, I stole it, right? I stole a big book. Right?
How old were you?
I was probably like 12,
Oh
11.
man, yeah, you were curious.
So I stole the book, right? I had this big Kama Sutra book in my closet. And then it mysteriously goes missing. Right? So I'm like, yo, my mom got me. And then I'm like, yo, did you get that book? She was like, no, I didn't get it. Da, da, da. And if I did, you're not getting it back.
Right? Did
And
you
I'm
get
like-
that
I'm
book?
I'm like, yo, she's really
That's
using-
embarrassing. I would have even asked her.
No,
I'm like, let's
no,
go.
I'm just like, yo, you're using this book, yo.
Yo, that's what my mother said. After I found, I gotta look up this book, man. It was a book. It was a classic book. It looked like two hippies having sex in different positions on every page. It was this classic book called like The Joy of Sex or something like that. And I remember seeing it. I found it. I was looking through it. You know, I might have tried a couple times to it, but it was like, yo, I can't. You know, this milk of magnesia. And then my mother was like, yeah, your father and I have done a lot of things out of that book. I was like, yo, we could. I'm burning this book.
Know.
Yeah, I'm
a
burning.
visual thinker,
Straight
know?
up, man. I wanted to burn this book. I want to find out what the name of this book was, man. It was like The Joy of Sex or something like that.
Nah, but yo, I think that's what it is, and that's when you're coming of age as a man, where it's just like, yo, my mom Dukes be doing it too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Conversation, we can just shut this conversation down now.
Yo, just know that. Just know, yo.
But it's not even a
Just
conversation.
know that.
You have to know. You're here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Somewhere,
because I denied it all the way up to that point.
like, yo, I'm a test tube. No, I came through a lab. My parents didn't have sex. No, my mother's legs weren't up.
Nah,
No.
nah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, hold on. Joy.
Yeah, man, there's nothing I can see positive. From.
You gotta,
Yeah, the Joy of Sex book. That's what it was.
You gotta watch it, bro. Like, yo,
Is this the lady? Is this one of the ladies that was in it? She the model?
she probably older.
Ew. think this is her.
She old now, still trying to hang on.
No, you know what? I think once you have it, once you got that energy and you know how to like.
Look, I'm feeling a certain way even watching this, like in a bad way. You know that
She can't
nostalgia,
even-
weird
when
feeling.
she talk, her head can't stop moving.
Look at it.
She's still in it, like, yeah. I can still make it rain.
Ugh. Look at this.
Let me see. Yeah.
Look at this. Ugh. Look at they're all hairy.
Yeah, that's that caveman shit.
Look at
That's that caveman.
hippies.
That's that caveman stuff, man.
Oh, look at.
You know,
The book was just sketches?
Yeah, the book was sketches of positions, of different sex positions. And like, yo, I remember seeing this when I was like 8. And then later when I was like 14, my mother was like, yeah, your father and I really took a lot of positions out of that book.
Oh,
That's disgusting.
you probably made to that book.
Oh.
That book of Jodeci.
Put it like this.
Not even
Nah,
Jodeci.
definitely not
It was
Jodeci.
probably
My
Nina
parents were
Baker,
old as hell. It was
Sam
like Cab Calloway.
the real Nipsey Hussle.
Word up.
The real Nipsey Hussle.
My parents was old as hell. It was like Harlem Renaissance music.
Yeah.
Billie Holiday. Strange Fruit. I think, let me get this Joy of Sex book off my Google here.
Yeah.
Juan gonna be like, yo, what the hell y'all doing?
Hey, I'd be like, yo, we talking about. Can you talk about that on there?
Sex?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because yeah, I think that's a great interview. Bro.
Nova Slime was going in about sex. He was like, because we were talking about like the importance of abstinence. We were talking about black men's health and how important it is to be celibate for a while. And he was talking about that. He was like, when you bust up in that queen and you let go of everything, like getting graphic, but he just wasn't cussing.
Yeah.
He was like, she got to be able to exchange that energy with you. And he was
he's
breaking.
right.
Yeah, he's right.
I think that, and when that we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about sex enough, and the energy change,
Right.
And you know what I mean, like what that does to your health. How you know what I mean? How it could be beneficial or you know what I mean detrimental, like depending on who you're with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like you said it best. You were like, he said, because I ain't going front. Like I said, not Yana.
Yeah.
I was like, I would, you know.
Thoughts of it.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm probably gonna knock it down. Like, you know, at some point. You know what I'm saying? That was my thought. Like, yo, just the knockdown. It wasn't.
But the thing about it is, the knockdown is problematic, bro.
Right, I know, but then he was like, I told him about where the mind was at. He was like, and you was gonna exchange energies with that.
No, it's crazy because we don't even think about that. I know when I was growing up, it was about like getting bodies. You know what I mean? Like getting those notches on your belt. We'll come back at the end of the month, be like, "Yo, I got 3 more."
Yeah, we don't realize what we're
we
taking
don't
on.
understand what
I
we're
told him
taking
as soon
on.
as he start running around here acting weird, soon as he start running he straight up acting all crazy.
We don't understand that. It's right. It's true.
And I think we need to have that conversation. A lot of us young, you know what I mean, young brothers, young sisters don't know about that.
Nah, they don't.
And it's just like, yo, we're guided by media. Right. And media says like, yo, you know what I mean? Casual, take this down, take that down. Women are to be conquered, etc. But we're not talking about that energy exchange.
So I wonder, like, what happens to a man when he doesn't get tainted at all and waits for that one woman? I feel like that's counterproductive. I feel like you have to go out there and exchange energies with a whole lot of mess.
Well, not with a whole lot of mess, but I think because I think both extremes are horrible, right?
Right.
Yo, if you go totally celibate, I don't think that's good for exposure and experience. But if I think you do too many, I think you know what I mean. You taint yourself to a point where you know what I mean. You kind of calcify your third eye, right? It's just like yo, it's hard to like navigate.
So at some point, a young man needs to go out and knock some things down.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
But wait, if it happens naturally, right? If it happens to a point where it's just like, yo, you know what I mean, dude's going to school, like he really likes home chick that, you know what I mean, 16, 17. I'm not even going to put an age on it, but, you know what I mean, whatever. And that just happens, right? It happens organically. It happens because, you know what I mean.
So you're saying if a young man's going to go out there and, knock some things down. It needs to be. It shouldn't be that it was instructed. It should just be happening.
Because it's instructed for him.
So you know why that I think because what's key about that is like that's the reason why the reason why I feel like a man needs to experience different women and maybe not with sex is because as he's learning himself, there's gonna be other women he meets that are gonna be on the level of where he's at that time, and then say, okay, well, this is good. She's good because I've learned about myself. I need this, that, and the third. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's why a lot of us men don't really realize what we want until we hit our 30s or 40s. Right. You know what I mean? Because we don't went that whole time learning ourselves. And as we learn ourselves, we start to attract what we're understanding about ourselves. Right. And then that's where it comes into women. But if you're a dude that was with this woman since high school, you ain't never experienced no other women. Right. It's like, yo, you could get to a place where you learn yourself and you grow. You're like, wow, she's not really feeding these things about me, but I don't know what's out there. That's like any other way.
But the thing about that at the same time, the thing about that is that not usually, I can't even say usually. Hopefully, what happens when it's a situation like that person that you're with, relationship is all about compromise. Mm-hmm. So as y'all are growing and learning each other together, you're learning how to deal with each other. And each time, at every stage of you growing, she's changing, you're changing. It was like, oh, I liked this before, but I don't like this now. Well, you as a man, are you willing to say, okay, I recognize she don't like that no more? I could change that. It's nothing that's changing my moral character. As long as it's not changing, your moral character and your principles of life, then you should be willing to change.
But that changes as well.
So if those things change and it's really a conflict, and it's something so
that comes with life. It's going to be.
I think people may be this tight. Like my best friend from when I was 15 is not my best friend now.
Right.
Because you know what I mean. And we were on the same wavelength, right? But we grew apart gradually, right? And it got to a point where we grew apart so much that it was just like, yo, I love you to death, but I just can't put you, right?
Right.
So, and I think it's like that with most relationships. Like, yo, y'all connect on this level, right? And either intellectually, physically, mentally, spiritually, y'all move in different directions, right? Right. There's nothing wrong with moving in different directions. It's just like, you know what? All right, yo, much love on your journey, and you could break apart.
Right.
And that's normal because 98% of all relationships don't last. And that's okay.
Dad, where'd you get that figure?
It's a fact.
That's like fact. No hope. Wait. That is not a fact.
It's no. So how many relationships?
I don't know, but that 98%.
How many relationships did you have all together in your lifetime?
Jesus.
All right. And how many?
I had 3 marriages. Well, no, 2 marriages. Huh?
How many lasted?
Of course, none.
So damn, I'm actually giving you the benefit of the doubt because
98%.
You're at 100% failure rate.
I'm about to.
No, there's nothing wrong with that because it's the truth.
I'm about to look this up.
And I don't even think it's a failure rate because you learn something from each relationship you're in, right? But as far as like sustaining,
it says 99% of all relationships will fail.
So I was wrong. And see.
Let me see this opinion piece.
You said I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. That's.
And there's another one. It seems 99% of all relationships fail. Yo, that's terrible to think that that's a statistic. That's a real stat.
Great, though. It's great because you want to know what? After failure comes what? You have to fail. Yeah. Like, failure comes before success.
Yeah, but there's no stat for successful relationships. It just says 99%.
There's 1%. It says 1%.
So 1% of all marriages of all relationships will last?
Yes. Well,
it's
last
kind
in an intimate level.
Broad, yeah.
Last in an intimate level because I'm still friends with some women I've dated.
Right, on the intimate level, yeah. Because I'm friends with almost every woman I dated.
Yeah. But the thing about it, as far as procreating, building a family, this, that, and the third. You're not gonna do that with every woman you're with.
I think we need to really redefine, or not even redefine
what a relationship is.
Yeah, re-envision what a relationship is. Because my thing is like a relationship could work however you need it to work for you and the person you're with.
I agree.
It doesn't need to be we live together. It doesn't need to be. I mean, truth be told, man, if I was married again, I want my own place. Mm-hmm. I want my own place. I want her to have her own place too. Like I want us to have
But
3.
that's what works for you.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to find somebody where that works for them.
Yeah.
And that would probably be the best relationship, but it's not going to stop y'all from growing apart if that's going to be a thing. I almost have a problem with the institution of marriage because
Oh, I have a huge problem with it.
the thing about it is naturally we grow apart,
Right.
And that with and I think I don't know if it's a fake Nipsey Hussle quote or whatever, but we can't
Yeah,
possess
people be
we
making
can
all
only-
types
yeah,
of quotes now
I know.
saying
That's
Nipsey
what I'm just
Hussle.
like, I'm like, I never heard of it, and I've been down for a minute.
Right.
But it says we can't possess people; we can only experience them. Right. So I'm not into possessing. You know what I mean? My significant other. But I am gonna take every moment I possibly can to experience you into like in its entirety
And
You
to
know what I'm
learn.
saying? And to learn. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what it's about. We're learning each other. We're learning our world through each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even when we have conversations, right? It's just like, yo, I'm learning your perspective on things. You're learning
Right.
my perspective on things. You know what I mean? Yo,
That's what the journey is. I think the reason why, as soon as we hear marriage, as soon as we hear relationship, it sounds like
you get tense.
there's these cutoffs now. It's like
I think it's because
everything's cut off. Marriage, it's like
we looking at marriage as the institution of what the land has presented as marriage to be. We don't
not an
understand
experience or a journey
Right,
with
we
someone.
don't understand the actual what being. If you're with somebody, marriage is ideals. I'm gonna be faithful to that person and only that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna love, honor, and protect.
But then you take Kenya
You
Stevens.
don't have to go stand in front of. A lot of people don't understand that the space for marriage in this land is because so you can be identified with taxes, with all the things of the land.
Well, more so than that, you know, you got to bring the religious component into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there's a religious component of like you're with this person till death do you part. There's
Right.
no other way of looking at it. Like,
Ideally, I get the loyalty aspect. I get it.
Right.
Ideally.
But that is created.
But
But one of the most important. The reason why I feel like that is there, and you know, people talk about. And I think sometimes we downplay the quote unquote religious part of it. But that is because one of the most sacred things that us as human beings, I feel, we forget is the institution of family. You know what I'm saying? The family aspect is so big. So if we're looking at if you look at it from the spiritual aspect, I'll say, and you're understanding that, okay, I'm making a bond, a union with this person, and asking the Most High, so to speak, to cover this union that I'm making, protect this union, and I'm gonna honor this as long as we're doing the right things till death do us part. So that means when the little things come in, I'm not just running for the hills. Oh, I can't deal with this. She's chewing her food. Oh, I didn't recognize she got man hands. You know what I'm saying?
that must have happened to you. That sounds real specific.
Now,
Romper hands.
now
You got man hands.
No. Now you running for the
That's
hills.
like where'd that come out?
bro.
Where'd that come
Listen,
out?
a woman, and I met a
Man
woman
hands
that
is a
got-
problem
no,
if they're rubbing on you.
Yo, yeah, they can't reach for you.
Yeah.
You know, you want some salt?
Like don't touch
On
me
your chicken.
with your man hands.
It's like word. Nah, for real, man. That's an issue. So
Your man
you know what I
ass
mean?
hands.
It's like,
We
well,
going
one thing
live.
that
We
is
going
true,
live in 4 minutes.
split earlobes. I cannot do.
Oh my god.
So I'm just saying. So
yeah,
you can't run.
but those
for
are
the
all
hills.
superficial things. My
No,
thing
but I'm
is
just saying.
But yeah, you're pointing those out there as
yeah.
indicators. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just run for the hills if you're honoring that in that nature.
Yeah, but no, you can't run for the hills. I think the reason why people feel like they need to run for the hills is because you don't create this space of just being open with each other about where you're at in life at that point, what's not working for you, what is working for you. Nobody dies from conversation. Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody has conversation anymore.
That's the
Exactly.
problem. So my thing
You know
is,
why?
no, but hold
Because
up.
sex.
But my
Wait,
thing
wait,
is that, and that's what I'm saying is that when that conversation, whether it's involving sex or anything else, you know what I'm saying? If it was open to have that conversation and to know, yo, we could talk about this. I'm not feeling the way you're carrying yourself right now. It's not doing right for me physically. This is where I'm at with it, and vice versa, or whatever that is. It's like trying to find a way to get back to wherever it was, or finding a way to get to where it could be. That's a journey y'all on.
Right.
And I'm willing to do that with her, you know, whoever that woman is. I'm willing to do that with you for the rest of my life. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be living together the whole time. I might have my. That doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
that there won't be a time when we need separation. That won't necessarily mean none of that. All that to say is that marriage keeps you from having that dialogue. Marriage is almost just like, no, we can't do that because this could result in a divorce.
No, I
and
don't
then I don't know
think
what.
so.
Yes, man. That's
I
why a
don't
lot
think-
of.
but
That's why there's
but see,
all.
but-
That's why there's so many divorces.
But
man.
that's
because people don't think
because
about.
people. I feel like it's because people don't look at marriage from the correct perspective.
No, but that's my point, Rem. You just brought up the fact that it's the ideal of marriage and the religion, and that you were supporting the religious institution and the intimacy of it. But my point is that the idea of marriage, when people, as soon as people hear it, they could be in a relationship for 10 years. As soon as they hear of marriage, they all of a sudden feel like they entered into this prison. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't have those exchanges of conversation. It pretty much is in that respect.
In that
So
regard.
when we look at it as a journey, it's like now this journey can go so many ways, but you on it with me and I'm on it with you. So like Kenya Stevens, to me, like that was one of our best interviews
Somebody
when
just
she
texted
came
me
on.
and said, man hands, really?
Who's watching
we're
it?
on there?
We're not on we're on YouTube though.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
like,
okay.
Oh, somebody must be
yeah,
watching on
hit me
YouTube?
up was like,
Alright.
man hands, really? Love you, girl. Love you, queen. Pardon. Love you, queen.
She was like, I do not have man hands.
Whopper hands are just as bad, yo.
But that's
those,
because
those
we-
little ass hands. You ever the Whopper commercial? I can't hold my Whopper.
Little ass
Yo,
hands.
we don't do the due diligence of learning each other. And that, to me, that's the main problem. You know what I'm saying? Men and women, they don't take time to really cultivate that friendship, cultivate that conversation of, are we gonna be able to converse about these things?
Right.
We don't do our due diligence. But first thing that everybody, boom, you see it, you like it, boom, we in the bag.
Because and I think that's our culture now because of social media, because of how easily accessible sex is.
Going live in 50 seconds.
Like sex is like ordering a pizza, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got Tinder, you got this, you got that. You know what I mean? So what we're attracted to is the superficial, and then there's nothing else after that.
Yep.
Is this Michael Jackson?
94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city and home of the Juan Castillo Morning Show. This is Moving Target. Good morning, New Haven. I'm your host, Jay Kemp. And with me, as always, is my brother, Remedy Sharif. What's good, brother?
Peace and blessings. Super Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we also have the young king in the building. Spencer, what's good, bro?
What's going on?
And we got a special guest, Kurt. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? What's going on, fam?
Yo, just so y'all know, man, Kurt, we had to make sure you speaking to the mic, man, so they can hear you clear. We had to have Kurt come on to address various topics. We're going to do a little bit of a different episode this time around. We do have a special, I guess you could say, uncut, behind-the-scenes type episode that'll be happening after this. So make sure you tune into our YouTube channel, Moving Target Media on YouTube, because we are going to go live with a local New Haven woman who was involved with the scandal, the viral video that went out of the young girl who, I think her name was Caitlin Renee. Caitlin Renee, say the name. She tagged the wall of Nipsey Hussle's mural, which isn't illegal.
Right.
You know, it's not illegal. It's a legal wall. But we will be talking with Tamika, who was involved with that viral video. She's been, dealing with some stuff, and we want to give her an opportunity to tell her story, right? So we're going to do that after. Rem, you're going to conduct this interview, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, you're going to do great. You're going to do great.
We're going to do what we got to do.
Yeah. So we're going to give her an opportunity to really tell her story. So make sure y'all tune in. A lot of people got that story twisted. Of what exactly happened and how she was involved. I know a lot of people have opinions, and I think we need to address the demonizing of Connecticut, because we looking kind of crazy, not just because of that, but because of
This just past
East
2
Haven.
months.
Yeah.
East Haven.
East Haven, the
Hamden.
this Hartford, the situation that happened in Hartford. We're looking like Florida right now.
Yeah.
We're looking like Florida in the headlines.
I mean, but and I'm looking at it too, like, because of all the attention that just happened is why. But come on, man, across the country, across this corporation, I should say, this been going on. Eyes is on us right now, but you know what I'm saying? It's going on, and because this is the last of it happening, when everybody's at the height of everything, now it's like, oh shoot, Connecticut, look at them.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Well,
I don't know. It's a couple of instances, really big instances, that have been pinpointed at us.
problematic.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to talk about that as well with her, but I think there are some things that are important for us to understand about what she has been experiencing and the cyber hate and the trolling. I think it's real easy for us to remove ourselves from what somebody might be feeling when we put hate out in a comment, or we send or we add to the trolling of an individual. You know, I usually see this happen from people outside of Connecticut. I don't normally see somebody in my city being affected by a viral video.
Right.
And what happens,
Right.
So I think that's an important conversation to have.
Right.
So we're going to have that after the show. Make sure y'all tune in 9:00 sharp. We're going to be on live YouTube, Moving Target Media. All right. But today we're going to go over some various topics that I think are important. This is town hall type of discussion. We are brothers from the community, so we're going to be addressing a few things. One of the first things, we always start with hot topics, and one of the hot topics right now is Louis Farrakahan being banned from Facebook, right? Now, we had the conversation already about cancel culture and what that is, and identity politics. What do y'all think? Kurt, what do you think about this banning of Louis Farrakahan?
Within like the whole banning of him.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I don't agree with you banning somebody, with white supremacist thoughts, or
Either or.
Yeah, just because if we're gonna be a country about freedom of speech, then we have to have diversity of thought.
Right.
So if this guy can't have a platform on something that's supposed to be free and open-minded and all of that stuff, if he can't have an opinion on that platform, that says a lot about who we are as a society, right? We're not going to let you speak, but we're going to let you speak, right? If he's dangerous, how dangerous is Trump, right? or if he's dangerous, how dangerous are, you know what I mean, some of these other, you know what I mean,
Trump still tweets easily,
tweets.
freely.
And he's still on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's still, the thing about it is, that should be a very big problem to us, right?
Yes.
Because if they could cancel Louis Farrakhan, they could cancel you.
Right.
So I think because of the media coverage that he's been getting over the years, people think it's okay for that to happen. Oh, he's a hateful, you know what I mean, speaking to,
And he's not.
And I don't get that.
I don't get that at all.
And again, I'm not a very big Louis Farrakhan fan or whatever.
I am.
But when I'm in the barbershop and they turn him on, I'll be like, yo, he makes a lot of sense.
I'm a huge Louis Farrakhan fan. I've heard the whole thing about what is it, Scientology. I guess he's like involved with Scientology. I don't know how that connection happened, Nation of Islam and Scientology. So I'm not with that. I have to do more research on that to understand what that is. But as far as what Louis Farrakhan speaks and what he speaks about, when he talks about, and this is the reason why we need our own media. It is problematic, and we should be concerned if you could cancel Louis Farrakhan, if you can put Louis Farrakhan and Alex Jones in the same. And if y'all don't know who Alex Jones is a known conspiracy theorist. He was one of the individuals that said that the Newtown, what was the mass shooting?
The Newtown, the kids.
Newtown.
Right.
Was it Newton or Newtown?
Newtown.
So he was the one that said that was staged, right? Ridiculous conspiracy theories with no facts behind them. He caused a lot of problems with that. Not necessarily even cancel him, but do not put him next to Louis Farrakhan, a well-studied, well-versed man who has been around for years. When he says anti-Jews or the demon synagogue, as he would say it, if people really understood what he was talking about, if they really knew who Farrakhan was, they would know he's not talking about the Jews that live around the corner in New Haven.
Right.
He's talking about those that actually control, a lot of the media corporations, a lot of the systems that we see in place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's talking about that. Now, whether you disagree with that, that's totally fine, But again, when did we start getting to the point where we can't even exchange ideas anymore?
No, but it's just a thing that it's like, again, because we're not outraged about it, that they just do what they want to do. Same thing with the police coming into our communities. We don't have value of self, so they do what they want to do. I look on Facebook often, and one thing that I'm gonna post this on Facebook, but I constantly see on Facebook where it could be a woman of color that looks provocative. You know what I mean? And they'll send you a friend request. And when you go into that friend request, it's really a man from Istanbul or somewhere. Or, you know what I'm saying? And that happens all the time, but they're using women of color's image to get their personality, their profile popping.
Their agenda.
But they're constantly using women of color. And I'm like, yo, when is that going to be
Blackfish.
get canceled? You see what I'm saying? Why are they just able to do that? So you canceling, come on, man, you canceling Farrakhan because you're hypocrites.
The ones that are getting canceled, like
they're hypocrites.
The people that are getting canceled are people that have thoughts and ideas that are anti-group.
Groupthink.
Groupthink. Groupthink and identity politics. If y'all want to check out an episode that we had on a few maybe a month or so ago with Brother Bourne, talked about cancel culture, identity politics, and group thinking. It's a problem. And it's a problem really taking away our freedom of speech. We're almost forced to think a certain way that everybody is thinking. And the moment you go against that is the moment you'll be canceled.
Let alone that he was talking about a system that is destructive towards a whole
Right.
and systemically been destructive
Right.
towards a group of people.
Absolutely.
Well, I think when you talk about that, you have to go deeper into it and why we're in this paradigm, right? Like, if no matter what I think, right, there's a group for it on Facebook. You know what I mean? No matter, you know what I mean, what I subscribe to, there's a Instagram, you know what I mean,
The
page for it, right?
Right.
To actually confirm what I think. So the dialogue isn't, even though we have this great big, you know what I mean, World Wide Web where it's supposed to have diversity of thought and us talking, it does just the opposite because we only gravitate to what we actually, you know what I mean, believe in or what we want confirmed.
Right.
So that's the problem. I think it's a conscious effort from the consumer to be like, you want to know what? I got to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't believe what I believe in.
Right.
Right? Just so I could get an understanding of their POV and their perspective.
How can we grow?
I think we have to have the courageous conversation. We got to be like every day we should want to have a courageous conversation with somebody who doesn't necessarily think like we do.
And you know, we talked about doing another show, not necessarily Moving Target, but doing another show under Activated Media where we can have some very opposing views connect. You know, a white supremacist and I don't know anybody else outside of white supremacists, you know, actually talking. I think that what we try to find is this consistent stream of peace and understanding and collective thinking. Not possible.
No, you know what it is?
It's not realistic.
You know what it is? People don't want to think anymore, right?
Right.
They want
it very simple.
They want it very simple because that's what we've been, instant gratification, right?
Right.
I don't want to have to go through the hassle of thinking. I want you to tell me what to think, right? Oh, that's popular? All right, that's
the trending topic. All right, let's do it.
So when you really have to think, you have to invest in it.
Yeah.
You got to invest your time. You got to invest your energy. You got to invest a lot of stuff into actually building up your thought process.
And sometimes you might have to unlearn what you've been thinking for the last 25, 20 years.
Exactly. And I think that's really tough for people now, right?
Of course, yeah.
So that's why we're in this situation is because of how the world is set up right now. Instant gratification. Like media is, the internet is the best and the worst thing that ever happened to us because of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like my group is bigger now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like before, like if I was into Magic the card game, I was like a geek, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Right? My group was really small in high school.
But now the trending topic is,
now it's bigger because now
comic books.
Yeah,
and
I could
everything.
connect with all the geeks throughout the world.
Yeah.
Right? And we could all, you know what I mean? It doesn't make me grow anymore.
Right.
Right? It makes me stay in that place.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we need to look at. Like,
I mean, even for me as a man, you know, and if y'all want to call up and add to this discussion, 203-562-9430, we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But even for me as a man, for the past, I would say 6-7 years, you know, trying to understand this new way of thinking about masculinity and what toxic masculinity is and rape culture, you know, I had to have some hard conversations with some people who, you know, were completely opposite from me and completely opposite from how I think. But those conversations were so important for me because now I've grown to understand that, as opposed to a lot of people who haven't had those. They're like, what are these terms that I'm hearing from everybody? They don't make sense to me when it comes to toxic masculinity, rape culture. I don't know nothing about that. You know, there's a lot of people that to this day know nothing about that.
And subscribe to it.
And subscribe
I didn't know
to
it. Blew my head off. When I found out that at one point I subscribed to rape culture, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? No,
Not
man.
me. Not
What?
me.
Are you crazy? But then there's such little subtle nuances that go along with this thing. And I was like, yo.
Because you were humble enough to say, let me listen to this, man. Let me see what's going on. But that doesn't happen all the time for a lot of people in a lot of conversations.
because they run away from the conversation.
Absolutely.
So if you're approached with the conversation where you're really challenged, and this goes along with life, right? When you become a challenge, there's two type of people. There's people that run to the challenge, and there's people that run away and fold, right? And we have 85% of us are going to fold.
85. The nation is God's and nurse.
Well, you know what I mean? 85% of us are going to fold because, we're not built that way.
Yeah, right.
Right? So we have to strengthen that 85% where it's just like, they need to get a firm foundation of this is who I am, right? And I'm not going to waver in the face of adversity.
And you know what's funny is when I look at CNN, again, we need to look at owning our own media. Like there's just no other way around it. We need to own our own media, control our narrative. But when I look at CNN covering Farrakahan doing what he's, whatever, him being banned, it's these small little clips that they use where he says something anti-Jew and then they stop it.
Right.
You can't go before, you can't go after. Why? Because he wasn't hateful. You literally control the narrative by taking this small little clip and then using it to spin the story the way you want it to.
Right.
So it's like if you're not under even you haven't even really listened to Farrakhan's sermons. And if you did, you would know why a lot of other people, even Barack Obama, who had to lay low on his connection, Barack Obama respects Farrakhan.
Absolutely.
There's no question.
But you know what's the
it's
thing?
the investment also.
It's not only, but it's the thing that it's the culture that America has put upon people of color, and specifically us, because we are the only group of people across this world that have been ripped from our natural way of thinking.
Right.
We don't know who we are, and people of color, our people need to come to terms with that. They need to, if you don't come to terms to recognize, you don't know your language, you don't know the language of the land that you're living in, you don't know the culture, you don't even know why you think the way you think living in this corporation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who we are. So how can you repair? And you can't repair anything. You can't fix anything. You can't
No, you
fight
can't.
against anything. Well, you can, but I'm just saying if you don't humble yourself and recognize that there is a problem, you'll never be able to fix it. You know what I'm saying? I had to look in the mirror and say, yo, you've been taking part in some things, bro. You need to fix this,
Right?
You know, because I'm not for this. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man, we need to wake up, yo. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, the hardest part, if you talk about mental health and all that other stuff, the hardest part is, you know what I mean, opening yourself up. And you know what I mean? They'll say you can't heal what you don't reveal, right?
Right.
But the hardest part is revealing those things about you, like, oh, I'm a male, but I'm part of rape culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a female, but I may subscribe to toxic femininity, right?
You just raised some eyebrows now. Like, what do you say?
But-
But this is the conversation we need to have. Let's
Like,
have
yo,
that.
You know what? I may be, you know what I mean? I may be somebody who considers myself a sympathetic white person, but I may be subscribing to, you know what I mean, white privilege.
Right.
Right? These are things that you need to tackle and be like, yo, how is the world working? How do I fit in it? And yo, am I being beneficial or detrimental to progress? Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're being detrimental. And even myself right now, I consider myself somewhat educated, but some things I do are detrimental.
Right.
And I do it unconsciously, but it takes somebody having that conversation with me being like, yo, Kurt, you know you effed up by doing this.
The
You
more
know, you know what I mean?
the more this cancel culture becomes the norm, and the more we can accept people like Farrakhan, Alex Jones, and whoever else to be canceled and have their opinions, you know, shut down, the more we are going. It sets a very comfortable place if you're going to talk about the conspiracy of government control over the minds and have everybody thinking the same way. If you're going to talk about that conspiracy, there's no better time to do that than right now, where cancel culture is so prevalent, and we could silence everybody and have the same way of thinking.
Because you know what we can't do? We can't put out a message on Facebook and have all of us move as one. Yo, everybody jump off of Facebook and go over here. This is our new social platform. This is how we're going to rock. This is how we're going to build.
Right.
We can't do that.
Right.
Because a lot of our people will look at us like, man, come on, man. I'm not getting on. But let one of these European people do it. Let one of the Caucasus do it. They put out a message and say, yo, guys, we gotta move. It's time to move. They gonna move.
But break that down. Why is that? And then that's where we gotta actually get uncomfortable by looking at who is controlling the media.
I think it's more
Absolutely.
it's more accessible now. You know what I mean?
What is
That what you're talking about?
Oh,
I
to
think-
get a way
I think
of
this
yeah,
is the start, right?
absolutely.
With
Man,
this
most of them not to cut you off, fan. Most of them, you know, the women, the men up there that already got 3,000 likes, they not going, they not leaving.
You wanna know what? I think it's gonna change because you have some very influential people actually investing in
Yes.
or other types of
Let me-
media. So so I'm gonna go in like this Louis Farrakhan thing. You gotta understand, you know what I mean, how this may move, right? Louis Farrakhan is very big in hip hop.
Huge, monumental.
He's a mentor to most of our favorite rappers and R&B singers, right? Now, mind you, Solange just bought Black Planet again, right? Now, who like, you know what I mean? Jay-Z and Beyonce made everybody go vegan.
Well, you,
You know what I
but take
mean?
it a step further.
And
Take it a step further.
I'm just piecing it the way I have it, right?
Yeah, but it's important. It's important to me to see these things as far as me being a media activist.
Facts.
Because when I see Barack Obama and Michelle Obama bought a production company and all the content they want to produce and create, they already got shows set and everything. All the content they want to create is all motivational, inspiring, positive. Sierra and her husband, the football guy,
Russell
Russell Wilson. They bought a production company. Same thing. They want heartfelt, whole, motivational, inspiring content.
Then you got Nick Cannon. Then you got
Nick Cannon. Yes.
You got a bunch of guys that are what's my man
Byron Allen.
Byron Allen.
Yeah, that's
another
the icon.
big dude. Like a lot
I
of
was about to say Byron Jones.
but a
Byron
lot
Jones is a cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. My mind
Oh, that's
went-
why we don't know him. All right, go ahead. Continue.
but I think a lot of melanated people are just like, you know what, this is where because our voices are being used in media. Right?
Absolutely.
Like when I talk to my friends that you know what I mean work for like these major like the HBOs, the Vices, etc. They're like, yo, you know what I mean, we need more black voices. Like, yo, why don't you know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, like, but then again, it's just like I don't own it. You understand what I'm saying?
What don't? Oh, you don't own the network itself.
Yeah. So
Right.
and then you know what I mean, when you don't own something, you fall victim to them actually using your voice in the wrong way.
Yeah, because it could come across to, hey, look, we gotta get these numbers up, so we're gonna need you to do this. And it's like, but I don't believe in that.
It happened to the best of us. Didn't that happen with Boondocks? And you know what I mean, like
Dave Chappelle,
and it's just like you want to know what, like, oh, it's great, but
They ran those guys off the map though.
because
Dave
because of
Chappelle
the-
left.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
well, he left because
because
of
of the pressure.
because of that relationship,
Right.
and that relationship is very. He has enough money to leave, right? We don't, because we have the same relationship with our jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got the same relationship with our places of education. When we're in these PWIs, we have to navigate through it, and we have to tone our blackness down. We have to act a certain way, and that plays a big part in our mental health.
Right.
But these guys are rich enough to be like, yo, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not taking that hit to my mental health.
Yeah.
We feel as though we have to.
So just to close out for this part of the conversation, in regards to Louis Farrakhan, listen, we have to support and own our own media. That's what it comes down to. And I don't know what else has to happen for it to be clear that I'm not necessarily about segregating in a sense where I don't talk to you, you don't talk to me. But the segregation that I'm referring to is I just need to build my own and you can have what you have right now.
But it's also about freedom, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to tell my story, voice my opinion, you know what I mean, be a voice to my community without, you know what I mean, being diluted, right? I want to be able to say exactly what I want, exactly how I feel, my perspective, without having to cater towards.
So what do you say? What do you say though about just to push back on that for a moment? If we do have a bunch of Trumps, if we do have a bunch of people with white supremacists or whoever else spilling rhetoric and hateful speech, do we just? Is there a time, even if we have our own media, are we stopping that at some point? Are we going to regulate people speaking hateful? Even if it was a black-owned network of all kinds.
But if you wouldn't have to regulate it if there was diversity of thought. If there was so many channels of true diversity where nobody has to placate towards, oh, I need a I need a white lead because it's gonna sell more in North America, or I need this or I need that. If you had a place where you can totally do what you want per your vision, right? You wouldn't need to stop anybody from talking.
Right.
Because there'll be so many voices.
Because it's like you don't have to listen to this. You could turn the channel and go to this other network, which is owned by exactly the type of individuals and thinking that you like.
It doesn't even have to be like owned by black people. It just could be your frame of
it
thought.
does.
Well, no. It just could be your frame of thought. Maybe,
right.
Maybe I'm really into like video games, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. there may be a channel or a outlet where it's just all about video games.
In
I
the
can do
'90s,
that.
there was over eight. It was like over 65, maybe 70 different outlets of media. Now there's only 5. You know, those corporations. But around that time in the '90s, there was like over 70. You know what I mean? So you had so much variety. Same with hip hop culture. You know, at one point you did have NWA, but you also had the Fat Boys. You know, like you had all
And
types.
Public Enemy.
But you
Yeah,
still, you
right.
still have it now, though. And
What, the
I would-
diversity?
I would argue that this is probably the most diverse time in hip hop.
I agree. I agree.
203-562-9430. That is the number if you want to call in and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Spencer, you said you agree that like right now is a diverse time of hip hop?
Yeah, definitely. Just in the fact that like you're starting to see more mixtures and genres and sound. Like it's catering to like different types of people. We're getting like emo rap. We're getting like SoundCloud rappers. I'm not trying to say like it's all good.
Right, but
it's
you're saying the
still diverse,
diversity of it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to move to another really important topic that we have covered here, but it's in the headlines right now. John Singleton, live in peace, John Singleton, because I already know his films and just everything he did in cinema. When we talk about black owned and black thought when it comes to media, John Singleton is a legend. And I really do believe we're going to see more filmmakers, and I believe we've already been seeing more filmmakers really apply the legacy that he left. But his family is really urging everybody to, you know, check their hearts, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that they're good health-wise. And still, even though we lost John Singleton, Bushwick Bill just announced that he got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. I think we lost somebody else. I'm forgetting right now, but I think we lost somebody else recently to heart failure. We as black men, we still are not taking our health serious enough.
And you got to talk, when you talk about health, you got to talk about total health.
Total health, total wellness.
So I think
That's mental, spiritual. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think a lot of people are just like, yo, get your heart checked or get your this checked. And I think that's a very, very big point, right? But you also got to talk about the mental health that we're in.
Absolutely.
On a day-to-day basis. Like, I think we're so messed up mentally with our mental health that we don't understand that we go through stresses every day
Right.
trying to placate into this world that doesn't necessarily accept us, right?
No, that doesn't.
I just seen something on Facebook. They just passed a law, you know what I mean? I think 2018, that allows black women to wear their hair naturally the way it comes out of their head at work.
Oh wow. We go.
And they passed the law on it. Like
We
gotta-
they-
but
like,
they
hold
have
on.
to. They have
we got
to.
a
They
we got a
have
phone
to.
call. I want to take this phone call real quick. 94.3. You on the air?
Good morning, brothers. Peace and love. This is Marquette. How's it going?
Peace, Marquette.
Peace.
What's good, Mad Dog?
What's going on? So I definitely wanted to chime in. First of all, I want to say, you brothers always doing good work, man. So I definitely appreciate y'all.
Thank you, brother.
But I definitely want to chime in on the mental health aspect of, black, African Americans and especially black men. I just wanted to kind of put something out there, and I won't be long. I just want everyone who's listening to remember it's a word called vicarious trauma. And I think that when people see that, they don't associate it with themselves, but it definitely becomes a party. Like, for example, when we seeing black and brown people being murdered, or we seeing, people that we know in a traumatic state, and we take on that, and that leads to vicarious trauma. And that vicarious trauma becomes who we are. And when that becomes a part of who we are, then now we're suffering from PTSD, and things of that nature. And one thing that people don't really understand, and I don't think that the news really highlighted, is that people in the inner city experience PTSD 3 times higher rate than those in war-torn countries. That's serious.
That's real serious.
Speaking of health, like you brothers saying, I definitely agree. We have to get checked. And for myself, I had a scare about 2 years ago. I didn't realize how sick I was with diabetes. And that almost took me out. But since that time, I've been eating right. Again, keyword eating right. And definitely doing the things that I enjoy so I can have a better, aspect of my mind, of my health, and of my body. And like the gentleman was saying, that all plays a part. Health, and also your mind. All that coincides as one. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there for anyone that's listening, and please do not underestimate the power of TV, because vicarious trauma is real. People get desensitized to that, and it becomes entertainment instead of an actual cry for help. So
No
I just wanted to say
doubt.
that.
No doubt.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Thank
Thank you,
so
brother.
much, Marquette.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you, brother. Hey, make sure y'all check out Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast too, man. He's popping on that.
Thank you. Sunday at 1 p.m.
All right, brother.
And as we talk about mental health, that part of it, and taking care of ourselves, man, it's a big fear, and that plays into the mental health. A lot of us are really scared. I could definitely speak to that because I'm one. I'm one to look myself in the mirror and know what I gotta do, what I gotta do to do what I gotta do to get
You gotta
better.
go get your prostate checked, brother.
So we're saying that though, but I know where that fear comes from, because it's like when you take your car to the place to get checked out. You don't want to pop the hood. You think you just got a little leak, and the next thing you know, they saying, well, your
and you don't want to.
Your transmission's cracked.
Yeah.
And the filter is going bad.
And you don't want to, because if I go, they're gonna tell me I got like $600-700 I gotta pay out, and I don't have it. So let me just keep driving.
No, but see,
No, that's real. That's a lot of thinking.
But with me, I don't care. You can't squeeze blood from the penny, and you'll get your money when you get it. You see what I'm saying? Just let me go handle this and take care of it.
But the thing about it is, the healthcare system is really crazy because, you don't have it? Okay. We'll give you a lesser, treatment, or we'll give you this, or we'll give you that.
Well, see,
we're gonna give you the Android treatment, as opposed to the iPhone treatment.
That's scary.
No, it's scary because the thing about it is, you can't even. It's almost like you can't trust your healthcare system. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not.
And it's
this is where Dr. Sebi and a lot of the holistic practitioners. Shout out to KT Arch Degree. Salute to Queen Afua, Nova Islam. A lot of these individuals are providing information that can put the healthcare business out.
Because they don't understand that everything's connected. Like, we don't understand that everything's connected. We went through school and we had different subjects, right?
Yeah.
We had your math class, you had your science class, you had your English class, right? So we think everything is separated, right? There's nothing separated from this. This is how I feel. There's nothing separated from the spiritual to the body to the mental.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? When you're around, mind you, what homie just said was like, we're 3 times more likely to experience PTSD than war-torn countries.
And that's
right?
just through vicariously.
So the thing about it is, now if you look at these neighborhoods, we have a high rate of diabetes. We have a high rate of heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
We had a high rate of infant mortality. We have a high rate of cancers. We have a high rate of all these things because the energies that we're taking in every day are destructive.
Yeah.
And we don't understand that, bro.
No.
And it's one of those things where if you try to tell somebody about energies and spirituality, they're like, oh, there's a pill for that.
Oh yeah, there's an app, there's a pill.
Yo,
Right?
we need to wake up, man, and just even sitting through this conversation, I mentally just took in the fact that, for real, it's not like when I think about how can you go to the doctor and expect them to take care of you when these are the same people that's oppressing you? And you know that
Right.
for a fact.
Right.
Now you're going to go sit in another one of their counterparts' faces with a white coat on, tell them, yo, I'm ailing from this, and really think you really expect to get taken care of? Like, this is a whole nother level of oppression that a lot of us just are not willing to wake up and recognize, man. And this is it makes me distraught because I look at our babies, man. We got the young, beautiful Zoe, Jay's daughter, down here, and I could sit and I could look at her, and it's just like, yo, is this what she's gonna have to experience if we don't start doing something to change this? Come on, man, this is absurd.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I think it's important though that, again, this comes down to the narrative that is pushed. We overlook the power of how much media can change our thinking in that respect. You know what I'm saying?
I think they know it.
Well, when I say we overlook, I mean we overlook as far as the responsibility of the consumer. You know what I'm saying? We, as a consumer, we do have a responsibility to know what we're taking in, just like how we have a responsibility on our food diet, we have a responsibility on our mental diet. You know what I'm saying? And we be taking in some McDonald's all day
But
when
that's
it
all-
comes
that's
to
all-
the corporations.
That's all that's catered to us, right? Like even I'm a big hip hop fan, right? And I read something that you know what I mean that hip hop music registers at a very low energy level. And you know what I mean because it's misogyny, it's hate, it's money, so it registers at a very low energy level, and then you got to realize we're taking that in every single day,
Right.
right? And the music that's pushed to us
We're taking that in every day.
but the music that's pushed to us is that money, women, you know what I mean? I need to have status symbols, right?
Yeah.
I need to have all those things. But then when you have like good music, right? Nipsey Hussle wasn't played on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of people didn't know to him after he died.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
I could go. I've been going on for that. For
those
like
are
a
the
month.
those are the greens. Those are the like we don't want to eat that.
But the
Give me
thing-
the genetically modified
Let
hip
me
hop.
tell you something. And I'm not gonna put him on blast because he gets mad at me when I do this. But you know what I mean? A good friend, relative of mine, right? I remember I played Nipsey Hussle to him in like 2012, right? Some of his dopest stuff, right? I played it to him and he was like, nah, that's whack.
I didn't like Nipsey Hussle's music either.
So I'm like,
A lot of times that's because we can't get past the voices.
And I can get past the West Coast.
You're not right. You're
I'm not really a West
familiar.
Coast, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a Nipsey Hussle fan as
Yeah.
far as his music. I always knew Nipsey Hussle because of like Red Pill, Blue Pill, all of that whole movement
Yeah.
was very connected to Nipsey Hussle. And and that's how I knew of the moves he was making, and it was big to me because I didn't see no other hip hop artists doing that.
I'm totally into lyrics, right? So like, his production wasn't A1 when he first.
Yeah,
came
it was
out.
like Tupac
Yeah.
production. I wasn't, you know what I mean?
But when I was listening to the words, I remember he made one song called "Who Detached Us," right?
Mm.
And yo, once I heard that, I was like, yo, this dude is on some, like, the way he thought was on par with the way I wanted to think.
Truth be told, I actually knew of his moves before I even listened to him.
Yeah. The thing about it is my boy was telling me, like, yo, this dude is dope. And then once I heard Who Detached Us, I listened to his music and I was like, yo, everything that he was talking about is like on some revolutionary, you know what I mean, Black Panther, Stokely Carmichael type.
Briefly, real quick, because we only got a couple minutes, but I do know that we have Tamika coming in who was involved with the viral video. What do you think? What do you feel? There was nothing else she can do to stop the girl.
No, there's nothing else she could have
So
done.
do you think she really deserves this backlash?
You know what? I think it's a lot of people reacting to their own frailty, right?
Mm.
So it's like it's great to say I would have punched that person in the face.
You would have went to jail.
I would have took the what do you call this, that, and the third. I would have took the spray can. I would have threw it because I even said it like yeah. But they have to turn the mirror at themselves
Absolutely.
and be like, you want to know what? What type of bull crap am I taking at work every day?
Right.
What type of bull crap am I taking on the streets where you know what I mean? I'm getting a police called on me by you know what I mean a white counterpart or you know what I mean I'm getting there's a lot of things that we go through on a day-to-day basis that puts us in that same position and we fold.
Yeah.
So that situation just by her putting the video out there, I think that was a big move by her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
In a good way, or
in a good way,
Yeah.
because anything else, she would have got locked up, and nobody would have put in money for her GoFundMe.
and nobody right exactly, and nobody else was recording, so we wouldn't even know who this girl was that did it.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest problem. The people that have the loudest mouths about this situation are the people that have to deal with that same situation, that same systematic violence on a day-to-day basis, and they do nothing.
So we are, and make sure y'all tune in. We are actually going right after this at 9:00 on YouTube Live. We are going to be going into the interview with Tamika to really get to the bottom of this and really hear the story clearly, not with a whole bunch of nonsense, everybody yelling. Like, look, what happened?
I'd have knocked the spray cans out of her hand.
And you would have been in jail.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And we would have been
No,
doing
no,
a
no.
GoFundMe for you.
You would have been
Free
in
rem.
jail, and it would have been
A
crazy.
free rem.
It would have been crazy for you. Right?
Oh, yeah, you would have looked crazy.
because you're a black man.
Yep.
And you're attacking a white woman. They would have been
In
like,
heart for a Nipsey Hussle. Like, come on, bro.
Nah,
And it's not
but-
even
but-
an
but you-
illegal
but-
wall.
But you know, the thing about it is, and I heard some of that, rhetoric come towards me. Like, you would have did what? Or because about somebody that doesn't even care about your community and this, that, and the third. He's not even in from you. Y'all don't even know him. What people don't understand is that these are people that we are connected to these people because we have the same mindset from the same village.
Right.
The work he was doing. This is what the connection is. So I do know that brother, though I never physically sat
No
with
doubt.
him.
By
I do
energy.
got
By
love-
energy.
I do
Energy.
got love for
Energy.
him. So
There's no time and
I'd have knocked the cans out
boundary
of
between.
him.
You would have been in jail.
No.
So,
and I get where he's coming from because
Right.
the thing about it is, we don't protect our spaces.
right.
So, you know what I mean? When are we going to take value of our spaces? We let everybody come in. New Haven. I'm not from New Haven, but I feel for New Haven because we let people come in, gentrify your city,
Yeah.
right? And we do nothing.
Well, we're going to get more into this discussion. We're going to actually continue this literally right now in about 10 minutes on YouTube. Moving Target Media, 94.3 WYBC. This is Moving Target. Thank you, brothers, for coming through. All right, we'll see y'all next Saturday.
Peace.